Hello YouTubers. Today I have a iPhone 6 Plus and this one came in as no touch. So we're going to take a look at it. Notice that it doesn't even have no bottom screws in there. The person said that they had the screen replaced multiple times or a couple times and kept changing it out. So the touch wasn't working at first. And what would be causing this, the touch not working, would be touch disease, which would be the jumper wire under the touch IC. And I think there's probably more to the story on this one, but no screws, the touch doesn't work. If I twist the phone, let's see, and get a number to pop up, nothing. Alright, well, that screen's just already popping out just from twisting it a little bit. Alright, so we got that. There was no screws in there. Wow, what do you know? No screws here holding this down. No shield plate. Look at long screw damage. Look at this. This thing, I could put this underneath there. So they got the wrong screw in there. They got the screw from here in this hole. Wow. This is why people should not be fixing phones if they don't know what they're doing. You gotta always put the right screws back in here, the very smallest ones. And normally this would be just doing, the jumper under the touch IC, but so you probably got that issue on top of this issue with the long screw damage. I have to see what's underneath this. Curiosity. A SIM card? Somebody put a SIM card on here? Underneath the phone. Or underneath where the connector for the LCD and the camera. I do not believe this. I've never seen that before. Wow. Why would Earth would they do that? It's a cut down SIM too. Okay, so we removed that shield and their SIM card out of there, and the touch is working. Alright, so I got touch down when I'm applying pressure to the board. We got touch all the way through. Now, let's see if I let up from the board to the stop. See, I pressed right on the touch IC. So this could be just a touch IC. I mean, maybe it didn't damage anything later. I seen something. No, this screw doesn't want to come out. So we're gonna attempt this. We'll see if we can fix it, because it didn't have no touch. from boot up, but then taking out their little SIM card deal thing. I don't know if they did that just to apply pressure on the Touch IC, and they figured that would fix it. I'm not sure, but I've never seen a SIM card underneath there, which is just funny. Probably asking yourself, like, oh, how's he gonna know where the screws go back? Pretty easy. Remember the links. Get that one unscrewed all the way. Alright, we got that disconnected. Got one screw over here. Those tear really easy. Well, it does look like it's been taken apart too in the back. So we're gonna peel this back and then we're gonna see what's under here. Look at this. This is flux. Oh my god. How is this phone still working? Oh my god. Look at all the flux on the PMIC. Wow. Somebody doesn't have a sonic cleaner or don't know how to clean flux up. Honestly, it doesn't look like they ran the jumper wire. I just want to see if they floated any components on this other side. Obviously, if they had flux on here, they had heat. And you can see that long screw damage. I'm just looking for clues, you know. So surprisingly, these screw holes are not long screw damage. That is surprising. See about this other one. Same here. So they just tore that off. But lucky they put that fat screw in here and forced it in there. That way it didn't long screw, but they, you know, had a SIM card on top of here applying pressure onto there, which maybe got them by. CPU shield been taken off? No. We are going to take this off. right away after we do the touch IC. Because I'm going to use the preheater. Alright. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this because I don't know what type of flux that they used. I just want to kind of absorb some of it. So I got the preheater all set up. Now I'm just going to turn it on, let it preheat. So what it looks like is somebody tried reflowing this. So that kind of scares me unless somebody tried doing it themselves, you know, which is all good. But if this is a shop doing this, this would be kind of crazy. So we're going to try to remove this touch IC and run the jumper wire and see if I could possibly pull it off. Clean and just run the jumper wire. I really don't want to put that much time into this one. Alright, so we got the flux. Believe it or not, that's flux, not rubbing alcohol. That's how the flux ain't really working like it used to. It's just evaporating from the heat. Crazy style. So we're gonna grab our shields. Alright, we'll just flick it off. The air. You can see the pad is just missing from the M1 jumper. It got sucked up. So that was definitely the issue. I'll zoom in on it so we can see it. Try to get done with this. Alright, that should be good. You can see that the M1 pad is completely missing. Completely gone. So this phone might have hope afterwards. There you got two caps there that are bridged. I have to unbridge those. There we go. I just want to touch that pad up in the center there. This one on the side here. Yeah, I definitely need to clean my exhaust system. Alright, that's good enough. Just gonna clean it up so we could run our jumper wire. Honestly, I'd rather take this job than the audio ICs on the 7. Alright, so we're gonna have to scrape that little trace. Alright, so we got that scraped. The little piece of metal, whatever it is, out of there. Clean that up. So now we're going to have to run our jumper wire, but we're gonna put some new fresh solder on that trace. Just scraping the wire a little bit. There we go, I got a little bit on there. Alright, that's good. Alright, I got it. Do is just want to cut it just perfect. Now I'm going to want to scrape some of the material away so the solder could attach itself to it. You can see the pad next to it is sitting upwards. I'm going to flatten that down so the chip will sit flush. So what I'm going to do is just put a drop of flux there. Come in with some heat in the iron. There, that's good. Alright, that's ready for the chip. Now we just need to grab the Touch IC. Hopefully I didn't nick the sides. Oh, I probably did a little bit. Oh, it's just the top layer, that's okay. Change my tip up. So we're just hitting this with all fresh solder. It's leaded. Spread it on the paper, let it absorb the flux, the paper. Plus it's drying out the flux. Alright, that's good. Use some rapid cool technology. So we got paste we can work with now, finally. Now that's nice and firm paste. Grab our IC. Good old trusty CPU stencil for the 6. Dried it out a little too much, but I like it when it's dry. You don't have solder balls popping up as much. Alright, that looks good. Let's roll with that. Turn our airflow down. Preheat the stencil. Alright. We're letting that cool, and we're going to add one more layer to it. You can't really see because the light's up too bright. There you go. But none of the balls popped up because of the dry paste. Alright, that looks good enough. Do this again. come in. Beautiful. Should be able to just lift the stencil up. No. Usually it sticks to it. So in this case we're just going to add a little bit of flux. Alright, there we go. We got nice balls on there. Stencil to the side, gotta clean that. Now you can see we have a lot of excess solder paste that's around the sides. Gotta remove all that. Alright. Alright, we're gonna add some flux. Alright. Now we need to clean it. Alright. That looks clean. We'll just take a look at it real quick. See how the balls are. Nice even balls. Nice little layer. So we're ready to go. So we'll place that on the, grab the preheater. So we're gonna move this touch IC out of its way. Room for the preheater. Okay, we're gonna put the board in there. Definitely gonna run this board through the cleaner. Just because we want the right amount of flux, we don't want to have it floating too much when we place it on there. Make sure we get the right direction. I need to clean those tweezers. I'm just going to roll with that. Turn the preheater on. Let it get warmed up. Gonna put our shields on. Alright, we're going to heat it in place. There, it hopped into place. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit more flux on it because I want it to dance a little bit. I'm going to nudge it. Alright. That is good. We use our Rapid Cool technology. We're just going to clean it up just a little bit. Get some of that flux out of there. We're just going to test it. Then I'm going to take off the CPU shield and throw it in the cleaner. Just put half the board in there. Ooh, that's hot. Move this, put the board out so it could cool a little faster. Set the preheater to the side. Don't need that no more. So what we're gonna do is just give this a little cleaning so we can throw it in the housing and test it real quick, make sure touch is working before we clean it. Kind of pointless. But yeah, that went pretty good. Didn't knock any components off to the side or anything, which is always good. So I don't know what the person did before. They put flux down and just reflowed the touch IC. That's my only guess. Just putting this over temporarily. Don't cause no shorting. Alright, now we had the problem with the image sometimes coming in and out. You know, they had like a SIM card putting pressure on the board, maybe to make a connection with one of the connections that were broken. I looked it up on ZXW Tools here, and I'll switch to it. And what's crazy about it, so if we go here, and this is the screw hole that was torn off with some layers and some traces damaged. So if we come to like layer 1, we got this line right here. And layer 2, we got these other lines going, which I think one of them is for like Wi-Fi or something, I'm not sure. So if we go to the long screw damage, we load this up. We come in here, we click on this line. And it's PPLDO14 RFSW for a switch. So that's the trace I'm going to repair. I'm clicking on that one. Alright. So we got the microscope up here. And you can see they did a number on this area right here. It's pretty damaged. You can see that screw went pretty deep too. So you can see the line right here. Which connected here. So we're going to replace that. These are just ground. And it was touching ground just a little bit. So the trace is just barely sitting there. So we're looking for that line. I imagine it goes to the connector. Never done long screw damage in this hole before, so this is kind of new. Okay, we got some flux down there. Alright, that should be good. That's not good. Alright, let me grab my tweezers. There we go. Got it on there good. Don't got any of the ground over there. No. Alright. You guys can't see it because of the reflection of it. It's hard for me to even see. Because of the lighting. So I'm going to carefully cut this. I can just cut it on the ground. Alright, there we go. Now I'm going to clean this a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get it nice and clean. Move that wire over just a hair. And then I'm going to put some UV curing mask down just to hold it in place. You don't want it touching the ground. That should be good. Oh, you guys can't see it. I don't know why. So this is like hanging on by a thread, basically. Alright, I don't believe it's touching right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some curing mask on there now, just to hold it in place. Then I could shift it into place a little bit more and scrape the edge, and then we could tack it down on that last one. And then by doing this, we're securing it so it doesn't ground out. There we go. That's pretty good. Now I'm just gonna cure it. Alright, we're gonna check, see if it's cured. No, it's not cured all the way. So I'm just gonna hold it on here for about a minute. I want it nice and hard. See, it was like flexing a little bit. Alright, that should be good. Look at it again. Alright, yeah, that's pretty good enough. Now what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna want to scrape this side. So we can get it to connect right here. I don't know what that is on here. Let's see. Got some fibers trapped in there. Alright. Good to put some flux down here. And try to get that with some little bit of solder on there. Alright, I got just enough on there. So I'm just going to push it into place, then we're going to tack it down. See, I got it in place. Now it's perfectly in place, so I'm just going to tack it down. See, we got that in place. Yep, it's not moving. Try to move it with the pick. Just see if it's secure. Yep, it's secure. Okay, now we can clean it with some rubbing alcohol. Alright, now we're just gonna probe it really lightly, make sure it's not grounding out. Because you know it's between two planes of ground, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna go to a ground. See, that's ground. That's just me hitting that ground. There it goes, reading. Kind of It's not a low reading, it's a high reading, whatever line it is. So we got that trace there. I'm just gonna put a little UV curing mask on that side of the thing. I don't know if you could see way down in there, in the center there, that hole. Off to the side, there's a trace there. And that doesn't look like it's damaged. That's the 5th layer, 6th layer, whatever. But that center is kind of suspicious. So let's put some more mask on here. So we're just letting this dry. Then we could test, see if we get backlight. See if it's dry. No, not yet. Yeah, I want it the hardest it could be is because, you know, if you apply pressure to it, I don't want somebody breaking the trace. The phone ever has to come back apart at some point, or a screen replacement. Like I said, I've never done the trace repair on this side, or this hole right here. It's always the other little guys that are damaged. The other two. Alright, that's hard as a rock. Alright, so I just wanted to go over a recap with this. Finally figured it all out. It was a rabbit hole, chasing a rabbit. I found the rabbit. So, after replacing the, let's see, dim this down. So after replacing the Touch IC, well, come to find out, the person had a SIM card underneath the LCD plate, applying pressure to it. Kind of figured out why down the road. I replaced the trace line. So open this up real quick. Oh, this is booting. So I came through, I replaced the jumper wire right here from the long screw damage because I tore it completely off. They had a SIM tray, or a SIM card right here, putting pressure down. I couldn't figure out why. Why would somebody do that? I mean, that's just stupid, but I guess whatever, if somebody's trying to fix their stuff. So after doing that, come to find out, see, we got a full booting phone. we got backlight. Oh, you guys can see that. Turn off my light. My exposure is way too low, that's what it is. Alright, so we got backlight, we got full touch working. So the full touch is working. Before there was no touch with the phone. We open it up, we find a SIM card underneath the connectors. So I'm just going to pop this screen off just to go over it, the recap of what I did. So I was already frustrated. I wasn't even going to repair the phone at first. But, you know, curiosity killed the cat. And I kind of wanted to know what exactly was occurring with the phone. So I took the repair on. Now if I come over here with the microscope, so you could see I did the trace repair there, running that jumper wire. Then on top of it, I didn't get no backlight, and I was wondering why sometimes I'd get backlight and I wouldn't. So all these components here were detached from obviously somebody heating the board up. They even left all the flux on, as we see and as we took it apart, which is mind-boggling. They didn't even clean it up. And all these resistors and capacitors weren't attached. So I dug in there, applying pressure a little bit. I seen that it just came off, no problem. So I resoldered those back on. Then I got backlight. Well, what happened is I wasn't getting no voltage. You know, I was getting 11, 12 volts here, and I was getting about 3.5 volts here on this test pad over here. So I was getting 11 to 12 there, and like 3.4 or something like that. So I went ahead and I checked the dial tested out fine. So I knew it was this backlight circuitry of the backlight driver here. You know, I didn't think I tested the coil. The coil tested fine from here to here, and I took the backlight driver off, which was with underfill. It probably wasn't bad, it was just probably because of the underfill of the person prior heating it up too much on the other side of the board, maybe reflowing the touch IC. Well, when we took off the touch IC, we see in the M1 jumper completely the pad came up right when I hit the soldering gun with it. And so that was the common problem why they're having touch. But whoever replaced the screen screwed it up over here, which then applying too much heat on the backside lifted these components up, the capacitors and the resistors, stopping it from having backlight. Well, when I repaired that, then there was only half backlight on this side. It was dim and it was bright on this side. So I knew it had to be one of the backlight drivers, which it was this backlight driver because that operates this side of the backlight. So after doing all that, I just, for the heck of it, I replaced both of these and replaced those and gave it a bath, and it's nice and clean. So now I can just put the shields back on. I had, you know, obviously I had to take the shields off to be able to operate under here, but it's nice and clean now, and it's a working phone. So basically I just wanted to go over a recap of it. I didn't record the rest of it, repairing all this, because it's just time consuming recording. But I did want to go over it afterwards of repairing it. It's a fully functional working phone now. Me taking that apart and having a SIM card applying pressure here, I've never seen that. And we had big big screw in this one, which was lucky it wasn't a long screw because it caused the long screw damage there. I would rather deal with this one trace. Didn't look like it break down to the fifth or sixth layer. The traces look pretty fine underneath there, so I just ran that jumper wire. But it's a fully functional 6. The touch disease is fixed on it, so this should be a good working phone. So I hope you guys liked the video. If you guys get a chance, give this a thumbs up. Also, if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button. And as always, thanks for watching.